I remember the first time I had a panic attack, and I didn't even know that's what it was. I think I was 8 or 9 years old, and I had this intense pain around my chest, and I got scared, so I told my mother, and she got worried too. So we went to doctor, and we did all the checkups, and everything was fine. But I still remember the look the doctor gave me. It was this mix of confusion, judgment, and skepticism. Maybe he was thinking, is this kid making things up to get out of studying? Because kids do that, right? I mean, they make up all this stuff. But I wasn't. I felt this deep sense of shame wash over me. And I thought I should not have told my mother. I should not have told anyone that I was in pain. And I never talk about that pain ever again. From that point, I started to have this mild chest pain every now and then. And I started to have these crazy intrusive thoughts. Although I didn't know that term back then. It was like, if my parents found out, my mind would immediately go into, what if they get into a car crash and they all die? If I'm getting close to exam, my brain would think, what if the worst case scenarios? I thought everyone's mind worked like that. I was a kid. I didn't know anything. I just thought that was normal, but it wasn't. But things really started to get more intense and worse when I was around 19. The chest pain became more frequent and more intense. The panic attacks become absolutely terrifying. I felt like I was dying. I'm not being exaggerating. It literally felt like dying. My heart would race so fast that it felt like it was going to explode. And sometimes it felt like someone was piercing a needle through my heart. It is so painful. And I wake up every morning with this sense of danger, that something is always about to go wrong. I didn't feel safe at all. I was extremely restless. I was always on edge. And I felt like I needed to rush on everything that I do. From the outside, I don't look restless. I don't look like a typical anxious person. I look very calm. Maybe I just got good at hiding. I'm not sure. And 2023 was the worst year of my life. I wake up in the middle of the night and feeling absolutely scared. I felt like I was in a war zone. I completely felt like I was under attack. And that was not even the worst part yet. The worst part is I see myself sleeping as if I am not inside my body at night. And that is extremely terrifying. And I thought I was going crazy then. But I didn't know that I was experiencing depersonalization and derealization. Because the truth is, I have zero self-awareness. I didn't know any of the term that I was experiencing. I just thought I was being weak. I was being dramatic. I was just being reactive. And even though I was in this insane amount of pain, I never really told anyone except from my girlfriend at the time. And even then, I wasn't fully open because I feel really ashamed of myself. And the truth is, I hated myself for being anxious all the time, being worrying about all the time. I had zero self-compassion. And I knew that I was worrying about things that I should not be worrying. Worry about things that sound so ridiculous. But I just couldn't help myself. So I just suck it up and I power through what needs to be done. I thought that would make it go away. But it didn't. It made it even worse because I get burnout frequently. Like I had literally zero energy to talk to anyone, to do anything. And it would happen every 3 months. So I finally went to doctor again. I did the medical checkup. And again, there is literally nothing wrong with me. I am completely healthy. And that's when I knew I had an anxiety disorder. After all this time, I started to have therapy and then CBT as well. And I learned a lot, like the cognitive patterns, the reframing, the positive thinking, the distortion techniques. But the main problem was this panic attack and this chest pain keep coming back. Even after I have done all this coping things, all this breathing exercises, all this meditation, and my feeling of feeling unsafe didn't went away either. I was so desperate. I even listened to hypnosis videos, hoping somehow it would rewire my brain to get out of this anxiety. It's embarrassing, but I did. And it didn't help. And I tried medication as well, and it just gave me brain fog and the feeling of numbness. I just felt like a zombie. It was so exhausting. I was always on edge, and I really wanted to get out of that. But the only answer I got was, I just need to learn to cope. I just need to learn to live with anxiety. for the rest of my life. And that was the point I was like, enough is enough. And I started to research about this anxiety. I joined forums, I started to read books, I listened to people who share about this anxiety and stuff. But I didn't get the answer I wanted. Then I found a book named Anxiety RX by Dr. Russell Kennedy. And at that point, I didn't have any expectation because I've already read so many and none of them helped me. So I didn't have any hope, but I kept reading it, and I'm so glad that I did. Dr. Kennedy isn't just a doctor, he is also a neuroscientist. And he didn't just study anxiety in theory, he has lived with it. So he knew what he was talking. And whilst reading, it was the first time in my life I felt someone was talking to me directly. I felt like there is a light. I felt like someone finally understood what I was experiencing. And he didn't just talk about coping mechanisms again. He actually showed a way out of anxiety. He said the way out of anxiety is to allow ourselves to feel it. He calls it sensation without explanation. And I was like, what? Feeling the anxiety is the last thing I want to do. I don't want to do this. But I've done almost everything at that point, so I decided to give it a try. So when I was getting the usual panic attack, instead of trying to run away or instead of trying to numb myself, I decided to feel it. It wasn't easy, it was like hell. Every part of me wanted me to do something about it. But after some minutes, it went away. It doesn't come as often as before. And I feel safety in my own body for the first time. And I started to lose the fear about all these intense physical symptoms as well. It feels like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulder. I truly feel alive. I feel at peace. I don't feel restless. And I haven't felt chest pain in months. And it truly feels amazing. And I can probably say that I don't have that anxiety disorder anymore. And looking back, I feel like struggling with anxiety was a blessing for me. Because it gave me a lot of growth. It made me more empathetic. It gave me a purpose. Normal daily struggles feel so damn easy for me. And I even made a full step-by-step recovery process for anxiety. And if you're interested in that, you can go and watch it. It's in the description. And I want you to know that you are not alone. And you're not weak. I understand how hard it is. But you don't have to live with this. There is a way out because I did it, so you can too. I truly wish this gave you some sort of hope to heal your anxiety, because if I did it after 15 years of struggling, you can too. So I highly recommend you to read that Anxiety RX book and also watch my video as well. Thanks for watching, guys.